The floor. Homeless. No bed, no address, no safety net, just concrete and cold air. Debt doesn't care that you have nothing. It follows you anyway. You're piecing together maybe $20 on a good day through odd jobs, spare change, or sheer desperation. Every morning starts with the same brutal calculation. Where do I sleep tonight, and will I eat? Society moves around you like you're a gap in the air. Not hated, just unregistered. This isn't a lifestyle. It's a daily war against disappearing entirely. Level 1. Deep poverty. 4 walls, technically, but that's where the security ends. Minimum wage hands you roughly $15,000 a year, assuming the hours don't dry up. Then one thing goes wrong. One thing. A busted radiator, an emergency room visit. Suddenly, you're doing the math no one should have to do. Lights or food, rent or medication. You're punching the clock full time and still bleeding out financially. That's not a character flaw. That's a system that was never designed to let you climb. You're not building a life. You're buying time week by week. Level 2. Working class. 30 to 50,000 a year, used car, rented apartment. Most months you land on your feet, barely. Your entire financial cushion could fit in a single envelope, $5,000 maybe. 2 months of survival if the income vanishes. You're not drowning, but you can feel the water rising. 40+ hours a week, every week, just to hold the same position. No momentum, just maintenance. Level 3. Lower middle class. 50 to 75,000. A little room to breathe, not much, but some. There might be a modest house with a mortgage that'll outlive your hairline, a retirement account with something growing quietly inside it, 1 vacation a year, nothing flashy but real. Groceries stopped being stressful. College tuition took their place. A medical crisis still has the power to wreck everything. You feel stable right up until you look closely at the numbers and realize how thin the ice actually is. Level 4. Middle class. $75 to $150 household. You own your home. 2 paid-off cars sit in the driveway. Retirement savings somewhere in the 6 figures. The kids can go to college without you selling organs to fund it. Real vacations. A genuine cushion. This is what everyone said success looked like, and in many ways it is. But here's the quiet truth nobody mentions. It's all load-bearing on your continued employment. Stop working, and within 6 months, the whole picture starts to crack. Level 5. Upper middle class. 150 to 300,000 a year. You've built something real, a medical career, a law practice, an engineering role, a business that actually works. The house is in a good neighborhood, worth $500,000 or more. New vehicles, international trips, dinners where you never once glance at the right side of the menu. Your kids have options. Your retirement looks healthy. By every conventional measure, you've won. And yet, surrounded by people doing even better, you somehow still don't feel like you've arrived. Level 6. Rich. 2 to 10 million in net worth. This is the first level where money starts working harder than you do. Investment returns alone can clear 1 to 300,000 annually. You could stop tomorrow and survive indefinitely. Multiple properties, luxury vehicles, a financial team in your corner, business class as the baseline, and more than any of that, access to rooms, to people, to opportunities that simply don't exist for anyone below this line. For most people, this is the ceiling of imagination. The ladder, however, keeps going. Level 7. Very rich. 10 to 30 million. You sold something or spent decades being exceptional at something rare. The primary residence runs 3 to 5 million. There might be a second property, somewhere warmer, somewhere quieter. You charter private flights without flinching. Your investments generate $500,000 to $1.5 million per year in passive returns. You work because you genuinely want to, not because the alternative is losing everything. You've entered rooms with people whose names you grew up hearing, and somehow there are still people in those rooms you look up to. Level 8. Ultra-high net worth. 30 to 100 million. The 0.1%. You didn't just succeed, you exited the game most people spend their lives playing. A primary estate worth 8 figures, multiple vacation properties, your own private aircraft, a staff managing the operational complexity of your daily existence. Your children attend schools alongside the kids of senators and celebrities. Your charitable giving runs into the millions each year, and the tax architecture makes generosity even more logical. 2 to 5 million annually in investment returns. You don't wait in lines. You don't get told no. You've crossed into a category of life that most people will never witness up close. Level 9. Centimillionaire. 100 million to a billion. You either built something that fundamentally scaled, ran a major institution at its peak, or were born into a dynasty. Multiple estates across continents, a yacht long enough to have its own zip code, rare art, rare cars, timepieces worth more than most houses, a staff of 20 plus handling everything from security to scheduling. Annual philanthropy in the tens of millions, a meaningful gesture that barely registers against your total. You know senators personally. You're in private dinners with heads of state. Entire industries recalibrate when you make a decision. Level 10. Billionaire. Fewer than 2,000 people on Earth hold this card. Your companies employ thousands. Your decisions send ripples through entire economies. You own homes in multiple cities, each valued at over 100 million. Your superyacht has a helicopter. You have a fleet of jets. Institutions, hospitals, universities, research centers carry your name on their walls. You've funded political careers. You've sat in rooms where a single conversation involved trillions of dollars. Money as a goal is something you vaguely remember. Now the currency is legacy, impact, what the world looks like after you're gone.
Level 11. Decabillionaire. Perhaps 50 individuals on the planet. You didn't just build a company. You rewired an industry, maybe several. Your personal fortune rivals the economic output of entire nations. When you sell stock, markets actually move. Leaders of countries seek out your perspective. Your philanthropic commitments are measured in tens of billions. You're funding space infrastructure. You're developing artificial intelligence that will define what it means to be human in the next century. There's no map for where you are. You're drawing it as you go.
Level 12. Hectobillionaire. A handful of people, maybe. Net worth above $300 billion. There are countries with smaller economies. You don't own companies. You own industries. Your influence doesn't just touch political systems, it quietly shapes them. You could resolve humanitarian crises at scale, and your portfolio would barely register the transaction. You're not navigating civilization. At this level, you're one of the people quietly deciding what it becomes. Level 13. The trillionaire. Theoretical, for now. No one lives here yet, but the math suggests it's coming, sooner than most people expect. At $1 trillion, your personal wealth clears the GDP of all but a small handful of nations. You don't acquire things. You determine what gets built, what gets researched, which version of the future humanity actually walks into. Wealth at this scale stops being a financial concept entirely. It becomes something closer to civilizational gravity. Everything bends toward it.